Okay. As soon as this YouTube goes live, I'll get started.
Hi, Muntavo. This is Flory.
Flory, welcome.
Thank you.
It's loading.
Hey, Mr. Muntavo, this is Sheila.
Welcome. There we go. All right, so I can make sure it's muted. Yep. Let me minimize this one. Come back over here. Got it. And we are live. Okay. There's quite a few things to unpack today. And I'm going to start, like I said, at the bless you. One second. Okay. Like I said at the very beginning of the call, I want to thank everybody who has sent, who is sending, for the Zoom help, for other things. It is all going towards this upkeep. Now, do we need to keep doing it? That's completely up to you. I'm going to leave it up to you. We're not launched yet, and these bills don't stop. So it's in your hands what you do. I would appreciate the help, but if you can't afford to do so, I understand completely. But I wanted to make sure I said thank you to all of you that are sending and have sent. It's quite a help. So let's move on to the things to unpack. There's a few of them. The very first thing that I want to touch on is communication. Communication is the foundation to a good relationship. Okay. And that communication comes in many forms. It comes in video, it comes in text or reading, it comes in communication by conversation. So, as you know, there is a lot of information. Let me turn these down. Hold on. There's a lot of information that is going to be dispensed over the next week or two. A lot. And I'm going to do it in little pieces. My schedule seems to be equaling out. It looks like I'm going to have 2 days off a week from the night job. That's the one that interferes with the call. So I'm going to try, provided everything goes well, I'm going to go one more week before I try to get into a pattern where we can have a conversation once a week until we launch. Now, communication is vital in this stage of a promise delivered. Like I said last week on the call, I don't know if you were here or not, or if the recording didn't go through or whatever happened. I'm just going to go over a few things so that it's fresh on your memory. It's not something you have to go find and hear. You're hearing it now, tonight. The products have been submitted. That's what the description, the price, the whole thing. Since our last conversation, I have run into another platform. They talk to me about what they do. I talk to them about what they do, what we do. And they want to join. Family, it's a lot of people. Some of you might know them. Like I said before, the whole design of a promise delivered is to get rid of all the failed systems that you and I have even tried and didn't get a dime out of it, except for Team Royal. That's the only exception out of all the ones that we've joined, tried, connected to, did this, did that. That's the only one that I can honestly say that it pays like it says it does. You just have to have the people. And this individual is connected to 9 of those old ones, and all those people are still sitting on those boards, waiting for somebody to come along. There is a term in MLM and multi-level marketing and whatever you want to call these things, gifting, the flower, the rose, the back tree, whatever they call it. They come up with these fabulous names and what they do, and they get in and they freeze. For the lack of better terms, that freezing is the lack of duplication. And in the lack of duplication, you are going to hear a term, stuck. When you hear the word stuck, it automatically tells you that you're in one of those platforms that if you don't bring 100,000 people, you're not going to make $10. And if those 100,000 don't bring 100,000, you're not going to make $20. You get my point. So after I had a conversation with him, his platform is awesome too. It's a lot more geared towards cryptocurrency than we are. And that's the main point of tonight's conversation. But what I'm doing is giving you a scenario of a typhoon of people that are going to come this way. Outside of the 2 groups that we already have that are waiting for launch. I got a call today. You launched yet? Can we give it to them yet? Not yet. So a shortage of people we won't have, but a shortage of attention span we are overflowing with. Now I'm saying that because I love you, you know this, and I'm saying that because I need you to settle down. You've heard me say this word before, relax. There is no rush. When it launches and it's not far off, then you have to do your part. And this is the conversation tonight. Your part. Now, there is going to be some major changes after we launch. I'm going to explain why. Conversation. Number 1, how many of us, by a show of hands, do not unmute, likes the government? I don't see any hands. How many of us on this call prefer to handle your own finances. Every hand in the room should be up. Now, here's the topic of the conversation. I had a conversation with the developer, which is putting the products, which is connecting each step to this, that, making this loop over and do that. He's doing his thing. The person that I talked to the other day and today, two different people, two different groups of people, ask a specific question. And that question was, why are you paying in fiat currency or fiat money? And to that answer was my general thought process to help people get what they need, to get through while they're learning the crypto space. And he said something that touched home with me. And I say it all the time, but I don't say it quite like he did. And his statement was this: one, when you pay in fiat currency, or fiat, because it's not even considered currency, we call it fiat for a reason. It's false. That green stuff. He said, when you allot fiat to people, so if I was to reach in my wallet and said, here's $1, you are transmitting fiat. You are also inviting who into your business? Those guys. Now, I want everybody to think for a second. I want you to put your thinking cap on. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. After having these conversations, it makes sense to keep them, those guys over there, you see which way I'm pointing, that's back west from me is you know who, out of your business. The only way to do that is to get out of theirs. I'll say that again. In order for us to move forward freely without interference, we have to be in our own ecosystem. And our own ecosystem is cryptocurrency. I've been talking about this, and I've been talking about this, and I have been talking about this. He said, if you do that, you're inviting them into your business because you're using their I thought I had one up here. Instruments, for lack of better words. Their instruments. Okay? When you work in their instruments, then they can step in and say, you can do this, you can't do this, you sure can't do that, and you can't make that. Let's let that sink in for a second. So the logical thing to do is for us to stay in our own ecosystem that has nothing to do with their instruments. So all of you that are into this, gotta have this, you gotta come to class and get out of this. They don't play fair. They're gonna tell you what you can do, when you can do it, and how much you can have of it. Remember that part? Do you remember going after that car and they said no? Going after the house? No, your credit ain't big enough. to get married. You have to get a credit check. Bet you didn't know that. If your credit isn't in a specific spot, the pastor is supposed to tell you, you might want to get your finances together before you get married. What's that got to do with it? That's the control, see? This is that realm. So what am I getting at and what am I talking about? Number one, we're going to get out of their ecosystem and we're going to stay in our own. But I have to stay in their system just long enough to get the funds needed for the software that's going to put us 100% crypto. There will be no 1 through 3 cash. It will be when we first start. We're going to launch that way because $11,000 is not, it's just, that's a lot of money. Okay. So I'm going to allow a promise delivered to pay for its own software by participating in this one. Once it has the software paid for and it's put together, the website is going to go down. Everything will cease. I have to do it this way. Unless they do something here in the next couple of days on the other front, then we won't have to worry about it because we'll come out that way. Let's pray for that. So I have to do it this way because, like I said, $11,000 is a lot of money, and that's what the software costs to put us 100% crypto. That eliminates them out of our business. Okay? That eliminates them out of our business. Remember, I'm just going to, I like my little props. You have your own bank. You have your own wallet or on the phone. You have your own wallet. You have means to move. You have means to pay for things. You have means to do what you need to do. You have your own bank. You're your own banker. These two together takes you out of their ecosystem and puts you in your own that you have control over. So I'm giving you heads up now that yes, it's going to launch the way it is, 1 through 3. You'll be able to get what you want to get, pull it down, or buy, purchase, products. It's up to you, but it'll be there because I have to generate $11,000. Once that is generated, the second I have it, the guys are already waiting. I've already talked to them. It's only going to take 6 days to convert our website to 100% crypto. And then we're right back up. I have to do it that way. 2 reasons. 1, I don't want them in my business. 2, I don't want them to come in and say, well, you didn't pay this and you didn't do that, so we're going to shut you down. When they see you doing good for others, they don't like that. If I was to launch this thing and it's all coming to me, and I'm just, buying Lamborghinis and all that, oh, it's okay. Remember, at this present moment, this country is corrupt. So corruption rules. I had to wrap my head around that over the past 2 weeks. I've always been an upright, standing individual, follow the rules, do what you're supposed to do, don't do anything illegal, not that I'm doing anything illegal. That type of person. But when you look around, if you just stop for a second and look around, just going to the grocery store, how many people do you see in the transit to the grocery store breaking the law? Think about it. When you look at TV or television, what do you see people talking about? What's the most common conversation on the television? People breaking the law. When have you heard a television show praising someone who is upstanding and doing the right thing? You don't. You don't believe me? Look at TV for about 30 minutes. You don't even have to look for an hour. Just watch it for 30 minutes and see what the major conversation on every channel is. Negative, corrupt, illegal stuff. Over and over and over. Unfortunately, they're doing it on purpose. They want you to break the law. They want you to do stuff that's illegal and unscrupled. So somebody that would open a platform that's taking advantage of people and all this, as long as it's not too much, they're okay with it. But when you come out trying to do the right thing, taking care of people, and they see it popping, pop, 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 everybody's happy, shut it down. Find a way to shut it down. What's he doing? What they doing? What are they using to pay? Cash? Oh, go get it. We're not going to be that scenario. I've been talking about everybody getting used to cryptocurrency, talking about getting used to the cell phone for my seniors that didn't come up messing with cell phones. It's kind of like a little bit of a challenge. We got to get around that corner because it's here. I told you it was coming. And a promise delivered is not going to be anything different than what I've been talking about. So, crash course, getting it together. I got to figure out a way to get everybody on the same page. I got to get everybody to where when you pick up a phone, you could say, well, I can go transfer $6,000 right now if I wanted to. Somebody will look at you, what? Because you'll have that ability. You'll be able to pick up a phone and move large amounts of money and not even think about it. Just like you would pick up a phone and call Aunt Willie. You're just not used to it. So we got to get used to it. Make sense? That's the second conversation. The third conversation that I wanted to touch on is, like I said, all the products are over there. There's going to be a new step 4 entry into this other platform that is 100% crypto and generates a massive amount of crypto. And it's built off of what I'm doing. As I said, and I'm going to say and continue to say until I get the custom software where I won't have to say anything, it's just going to happen because it'll be custom. See, we're semi-custom. Remember, I was telling you custom software is 100 grand and up. But for what I need to get to the 100 grand is going to be done in crypto. And that's just an $11,000 change from where we are now. But we're going to launch the way we are. What I wanted to touch on is this. All of us need something. It's either dental work, eye work, feet work, housework, car work, right? Step 4 is going to be the step, now pay attention, that puts you into something, puts funds into the breadbasket to help other people that don't know nothing about us. We will be sending to a charity one every year. We're going to switch. St. Jude is first. St. Jude is first. That's my favorite. It's always been my favorite. So when we launch for 365 days, the bread basket is going to donate to St. Jude's, and we all, as an entire ecosystem, will be given to the bread basket. Every time you hit step 4, you're going to put a little something in there. So am I. It's not just all you. And then every month, there's going to be a donation sent to St. Jude, and everybody gets a receipt. So you can see it actually went to St. Jude from a Promise Delivered's account. You have to make steps to show that you are legit. That's why we have products on every step. That's why we changed the names to these companies that we're partnershiping up with. Team Royal, you already know what that is. The next one's going to be this new one. I haven't decided a name yet. But we will never use anybody else's name who we are partnered up with. All right? So with that being said, we were 14 streams of income. You can add another 27 to that. Before it's all in, we'll probably have 75 to 100 streams of income. No one should ever have to work again. Now, of course, you still got to go to work because then they'll come after the company for that. Oh, you're laying people off and they still buying houses. How is that? Wouldn't you like to know? So that's the objective. Now, when it comes to the conversation, and I need everybody that is on this call, what is 87 people, I need everybody to pay attention. I'm going to have to make some moves that will not allow me to be on the phone. Okay? These moves are for the benefit of a Promise Delivered and everybody connected to it. There is a word for it, but I'll wait until after I have what I need in my possession before I say that word. It'll all make sense. But again, these moves need to happen because, like I said, in it is phase 2 of a Promise Delivered. Remember, there's a second part to this. This first part is just to get the funds going so you can get out of trouble. You can get stuff paid off that you know, just like me, been trying to pay off for years. And these jobs just never amount to enough to pay it off. You can chip at it, chip, then something comes up, it gets big again. You chip it down, it gets big again. You never really get rid of it. Well, a Promise Delivered phase 2, the second part to this thing, is where we all become basically disconnected from the financial arena. Now, what does that mean? Disconnected from the financial arena? I thought we were trying to get paid, not get away from it. You are. But y'all see it, right? You're going to disconnect from all the banks or whatever they're going to call themselves or whatever they're doing, the wealth management center. This is your wealth management center. Where is it? It's in my possession. It's in my hands. So I'm the one. You're the one that's going to take care of your finances going forward. Phase 2 is awesome. Trust what I'm telling you. Step 12. I'm moving on to the next conversation. Step 12, or the last one, was an incredible amount of stress to figure out. I still don't feel 100% with it. But I'm going to share it with you anyway. Step 12 is a 4-choice product. Well, there's a bunch of other products on there, but the total amount of it can go to 4 different things. 2 for the driver, 2 for the non. 2 for the driver is either you can use the whole thing for a down payment on a car, or you can use it to make payments on a car. That's the 2 for the driver. The other 2 cover everybody else. If you don't drive no more, but you need a scooter. If you don't need a scooter, you need some type of apparatus that helps you get around. Walker, cane, Uber, whatever it is. If it's a bus system that comes close to your house or whatever, and they can pick you up as long as you're paying them or whatever, you can put those funds towards that process. So it was difficult to split 12 into 2, or, some things for people who drive and some things for those who don't. Hopefully when everybody gets in the med bed, you can go back to driving again. Another conversation. So step 12 was very difficult to break down, but I think when you see it, it'll make sense to you. It's explained. Don't worry, it's not going to be like a sheet to jump up, do this, do that, and you're still sitting there trying to figure out what's what. No. You can either use the whole thing for a down payment or the whole thing to make payments for those who drive. If you don't drive, everything else. If you need a new pair of crutches, get them. Put some bling on them. So that's 12. 11, step 11, there was a couple conversations of different machines, and I've looked at 3 more since we had our conversation, Randy. And I still think Kangen is probably one of the best water machines there is. Simply because I used to drink the water and I know what it did for me. I try to go off of things that I've experienced, even though I'm not everybody's blood type. So what works good for me may not work good for you. But step 11 is that system. If you are drinking water out of the faucet and you live in the city, you are poisoning yourself. They don't want you to say that. They don't want you got to be careful what you say, especially on a recording. It's my opinion. Let me add that. If you've ever spent any time in a water treatment plant, you would see why I said what I just said. If in light of the losing or the loss of Dr. Vincent was directly because drinking water that had lead in it. And I have to say that in my line of work, I've seen what's in water treatment plants. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's not good. I'm not going to get myself in trouble and say what I've seen in several different ones. State ran, city ran, and I'm sure government ran systems are not clean. And that water's coming right out of that faucet. So at least the Kangen water is going to pretty much destroy all of those things that are in the water and make the water a little better for you. The only absolute water is distilled water. And you can get a distiller, and that's one of the products in there. So you'll see that. I would highly recommend everyone getting a distiller. That's the only clean water. You can't even trust the water coming out of the sky anymore because they put so much stuff in between us and it. The water has to fall through those clouds. There's stuff in the clouds. Water picks up anything that it touches, and it comes down here and you drink it. It's gross. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off the step here. I'm actually very proud of the products that you're going to see. And there was a question about what if I don't see anything I want, then withdraw. It's simple. I just don't want everybody to just withdraw. That's the only thing I'm saying here. There's products on the website and in the system to keep it legal. Remember, rules, regulations. It's up to us. Now, last thing, because I'm not going to keep you long. The last thing I want to talk about is the calling. The 75 people. There was some misunderstanding, so I'm going to clarify the 75 people one more time, which that calling is going to commence. As a matter of fact, Sunday. No, because I don't want you calling me Sunday, so I'm not going to call you Sunday. We'll start at Monday. Okay, Monday. Official start of the calls. So let me explain one more time the 75 people. The 75 people, and if you pay attention, you'll hear what you need to hear, is enough people to show me what the system is doing. Those 75 people are the first 75 people that got onto the spreadsheet by timestamp, not when you knew me when we was changing diapers. Okay? I know you want to have been with me all that time, but come on now. That doesn't play a part here. That's why I did the spreadsheet, because it keeps meticulous records. If you were there the second day that I did the spreadsheet, then you're number 2. If you paid your $25, you're green. And you're on the 75 count. It's as simple as that. There's no special because I know you thing on the 75 people, unless I have personally promised it to you. And yes, there have been a few people. Honesty is everything with me. So those 75 people are 75 people that will say, yes, I can be patient. No, I'm not going to call you when I see stuff in my back office. And can I go buy the product or can I withdraw? You're agreeing when I call, if you so wish to agree. You don't have to. If you don't think you can make it, without calling me, ask me, can I withdraw? Before I launch, don't say yes, because I'm going to be angry with you. Okay? Those 75 people are going to say, yes, I can be patient. Yes, I'm going to see what's in my back office, but I'm not going to bug you. Can I get it? That's the 75 people, period. Nothing special other than that. No, well, I knew you. We pinky friends. That does not play here. Because I had to be pinky friends with everybody on this call. Everybody can't be first. Okay? So that's what the 75 is. Now, once the 75 are in, and I have had a chance to see what happened, to the very first position, which belongs to a promise delivered. That's where the testing is making that position do what I need to see done, because what happens to that position happens to you. 75 people. Wonder how many caught it. So once that very first position does what it's supposed to do, I'm happy, programmer's happy, developer, you know, he really doesn't have much to do with it. Only if I add in stuff, and he'll just stick it onto the step wherever I add it. And there's still another 2 sheets of products. I didn't want to put them all in. It's too much work trying to get launched. I want to get launched first, and then I can, you know, leave away from these other 2 things that are eating up my time, and I can focus. That's been the biggest delay out of all of this. But I had to do what I have to do. I got to pay for this thing. All right. So working 2 jobs, you don't have a whole lot of time. Sometimes I come through that door and go straight upstairs. I don't even come to the kitchen. You think I want to keep doing that? Absolutely not. So if I can get this thing launched tomorrow, I will. My objective is to get launched. And now to get up at least 11,000 to go 100% crypto, where we can not have to worry about somebody knocking on the door. You need to pay some taxes. No, I don't. It's illegal. But as long as you're dealing in their arena, they can come knock on your door and tell you to pay. You get out of their arena, get in your own, they don't even know what you got, much less tax it. Remember me saying if I wanted to send $6.8 million to Genesis, all I need is Genesis' address. I hit 2, 3 buttons, and Genesis has $6 million. Who knows about it? Me and Genesis. That's it. That's what they don't want, but that's what we're going to give them, because we're going to get out of their system. As soon as I have 11,000 of that, I'll get it to them. They'll create the website, switch it all over, and then we go 100% crypto. Now, let me just hit this point before I go or open it to questions. When we switch to crypto, by then, you should be very fluent on how to move resources. Our original move was what? Resources, the first one, wallet, and then bank, right? Remember that? Resources, wallet, bank. You're only using an address. Don't make it more confusing than it isn't. You remembered your address when you were young. You memorized your telephone number. You know, you didn't always have a cell phone. You didn't always have a telephone, but you figured it out. Some of you know your driver's license number. You know your social security number. You can rattle off with no problem. When you need to find a contact in your phone, somebody to call, you know to do what? Go to contacts, right? The little silhouette, touch on it, and what happens? Everybody comes up. You see that? That was the yellow pages. Now it's Google. Hey, Google, you just say a word. Look, the phone lit up as soon as I said that. You don't even have to touch nothing. Just say it if you have your phone set. So when I hear people say, well, crypto is scary, it's so hard. It's only hard because you're making it hard. Take your time, focus, and say, all I need is an address, and I can send $6.8 million in 30 seconds to whoever I want. Didn't have to go online, didn't have to log in, didn't have to ask permission, didn't have to do none of that. Remember, for all those people that got to have this here, I understand. I get it. Some of y'all just like this paper. Got to have the paper. I don't want the crypto. Remember, you have Team Royal. Team Royal times 2, all the paper you want. But guess what? And please remember, they pay in this. So that means whose arena are you in when you get this? Theirs. Taxes. Budding in your business. How much did you make? How many accounts you got it in? Where you got it at? Whose name's on the account? And on and on and on. You put it over here, there's zero question. Zero. Who's in control of it? You. Who can see it? Nobody. Just saying. If you got to have paper, you will have a platform or an avenue for resources in that, and you can withdraw into the bank if you want. Ooh. And then you just remember they're going to be watching every dime you put in there. I hope that Team Royal is going to convert over to crypto. It would just make sense, but we'll see what they do. If they don't, there's your option. But as far as a promise delivered, 100% crypto. You will get used to it, trust me. Does anybody remember the first time you got in a car and went to a location you never went to before? How scared were you? Like out of town, you're going to go visit somebody. You've never been out of town before, this first time driving, and you're getting ready to take a trip. Now I'm going to ask a question, and I know you're going to lie to me. Before you took that trip, did you need to know how the car worked? Did you need to know how the transmission worked?
Unplug it. Unplug it. There we go. I'll give it to you when I'm done.
So that is the type of thing that I'm saying to you now. You already know the mechanics of taking the trip. You have to get in the car, you have to put gas in it, and you have to at least, well, back in the day, it was maps. Now you use navigation, which is digital maps. A lot of people don't even realize that. When I first started driving trucks, I had a suitcase, literally, of atlases, maps, and a book. That's how I drove from one end of this country to the other, up and down the eastern shoreline. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have navigation. I used maps. I was reading geography. You see? So we went from that to, hey, Google, I need to go to the lollipop store. And it'll tell you, turn left here, 1/4 mile. Your destination is on the right. Sound familiar? They even tell you what side of the street to look on. You don't even have to look. My point is this. Cryptocurrency is not hard. It's new. That's it. Once you know it, you know it. And you'll be able to move money all over the place. You'll be able to put stuff in devices, your own banks, of course, and know what you have in your bank, and no one else will know. You'll have debit cards that are crypto debit cards. You can go shop. You're in total control of your finances. And that's the ultimate goal. Okay. Monday calls start. That does not mean I have launched. This is where the disconnect came in when I said this last week. It does not mean I've launched. That means I need 75 people to test it once it's available. That's what it means. Once the 75 are in, I get a thumbs up and everything does like it's supposed to for original position, a promise delivered, and I can verify it. Then I'd send the link to all the rest of the green. Everybody else green. Because some of the 75 won't want to be patient. I've already had one tell me, I can't handle it. If I see it, I'm going to want to get to it. Okay, that's what I needed to know. That's what the 75 call is about. Be honest, please. Once the 75 are called, the rest go in. Once all the green are in, then we launch. Notice I said once all the green, not the 75. 75 just helped me test it. All the rest of the green people on that spreadsheet will get the link and they join and sign in and put their 175 in and go. Once all those have the link, then the website will come live. Now, the last thing that I'm dealing with here is should I make the website password protected? Which cuts off a lot of people. So that's one of those things I'm going to have to deal with and try to figure out and work over it. Maybe we'll revisit that question next week if so needed. But for the most part, once that happens, we take off. Once $11,000 is accrued out of the platform itself, we go to 100% crypto for a promise delivered. You still get cash in Team Royal. A promise delivered is switching its game, not the rest of the people. So I don't want you to think just because I'm taking away 1, 2, and 3 cash that you can't have cash. If you think that, then you haven't heard a word I said. Team Royal pays in cash all the way through. Every day. Promise Delivered can't even touch that. They take care of it every day. So when you get in a decent position of individuals behind you, let's say it's $400 a day. Remember, you have 2 positions. So that 400 just turned into 8. What are you going to do with $800 a day? Think about it. Cash. For those who need to have that, you'll have 800 of them a day. You can have all of them you want. All right, so it just won't happen in Promise Delivered because I want it to stick around. Then phase 2 kicks in. You're going to love phase 2. I'm already working on it. All right. Questions?
Greetings, Muntavo.
Yes. Go right ahead.
Count me in once you get going to support.
Wait a minute. I think my phone's tripping. Say that one more time.
Oh, once you need more funds for making it automated, count me in.
Okay. Yeah. When that time comes, when we start receiving from a Promise Delivered, the same 2 options will be made available. As a matter of fact, I do have the Cash App account. I have the bank or the Zelle account. I'll send them over to Rhonda. She can put them in the chat, or if you need it, I can send it in an email. They have changed from what they are. I just need to get the Bitcoin address for that the new Cash App account. Don't send anything else to my Cash App. It's real simple. I'll send it over to Rhonda now, and then she can stick it in the chat.
Thank you. I'm still helping out with Team Roy.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. I don't think I have the Bitcoin address yet because I haven't bought any Bitcoin with this account yet. So that'll come. I'll buy some Bitcoin with it, and that'll activate the Bitcoin address, and then I'll add it. So hold on. I'll do that after the call. Next question.
Mr. Muntavo, this is Flori.
Yes, ma'am.
I had a quick question. How much are you expecting? I mean, how much are you lacking in to do what you have to do
For the new
in terms of, yes.
Oh, that hasn't even started yet.
Okay, because people are donating, I mean, like you said earlier,
Mhm.
but how much you need 11,000, right? Is
Yeah,
that what I
11,000.
heard?
Mhm.
Yeah. So are you anywhere close to it?
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Remember, and I know a lot of you sent a lot more, but 200 a month is what just with Zoom, and then all the other
Oh, I see.
accounts. There's
Mhm.
subscriptions that are running
Mhm.
the website where it's at now. Don't
Okay.
worry, because once we launch, like I said, which isn't far off, once we launch, that's going to come up so fast, you don't even know we waited for it.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, but thank you.
This is Jefferson. Don't forget to speak about the Social Security.
Yes, the Social Security thing. That was one of the questions about, is this going to interfere with you? And to answer that question would gather you watching the video that Jefferson sent me. So what I'm going to do is when I send out over to Rhonda the payment options, I will send a copy of that link. But you'll see he's going to go over, what you can earn at certain ages and some months and all this. But 67 is the new, and this could change in a week because of what's going on over there right now. But 67 is the full retirement age. And at 60, once you make full retirement age, you can earn as much money as you want. So a lot of you are worried about the wrong thing unless you're under 67. If you're under 67 and you're receiving retirement, yes, it could interfere with your funds. I'm just going to tell you the truth. There's no way around it outside of the fact that, it may not even be there anyway. Like I said, there's some things happening over there right now with, you see the grand jury, you see what's going on. Some big changes are coming very, very soon. And a lot of the stuff that we're programmed to know, like Social Security, SSI, all those other 3-letter words, they're colorful, whatever, are going to go away. because they're fraudulent. Sorry to say it, but people have put money away all their life working. Some of you now are still putting into a system that isn't even there, and it's called 401k. If you think that money's there, it's not. Just telling you, it's the truth. The truth is, it's there because they say it's there. But as soon as that system falls, what retirement? What 401k? You ain't got nothing over here. That's why I'm telling you. That's why I put it out there. If you have a large 401k, the way it sits right now, do something with it to take ownership of it. Because as long as it's over there in their system, remember this here. Remember this conversation tonight. This system does not care about you. That should be obvious. This system is in control of your finances. So as long as you're in their system, you do what they say do. Next question.
Mr. Lewis, good evening. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. So my question for you is, you remember how you mentioned, look, make sure you purchase something on a level to stick around. Once you transition over out of their system, and thank you for doing that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Once you transition over to that, are you still concerned about that?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
That's it. Thank
Simply
you.
because
Mm-hmm.
we're no longer in their system. And that's why I'm adamant about, I got to make sure I'm not showing off my card numbers, us getting a crypto debit card. So you can shop in their world without using this. You're using this. They both do the same thing. The difference is they can track how much of this you're using over there at Amazon. They can't track this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They have no idea what you went and bought. Now, if they really want to know, they'll watch your mailbox or watch anytime a shipping label is produced, and then they have to then look at what the shipping was. I don't think they're that infatuated. It's too much work.
So a follow-up question on that. How do you feel about Coinbase? Like, I know they report, so to speak, right?
Yeah, they report, not so to speak, they report.
Yeah.
That's why we go with Trust Wallet, decentralized. You want a decentralized platform in crypto, because a non-decentralized is like these guys. You might as well just have this.
Right.
So you have to do your due diligence. Which one's decentralized, which one's not? Do they offer a debit card? But like I said, as we get closer and closer to the fully collapse of this, everybody's going to come out with the right thing for this. Wait, that's got my card number. For this. They're going to pop out of the woodwork. Trust what I'm telling you.
So Coinbase is not decentralized.
No.
It's not. Okay.
Trust Wallet is. Exodus.
But they do not have a debit card.
Right. So we're still
Trust.
looking. We're still looking for an option that gives us that ability. But then again, too, if you think about it, how much are you really going to buy on a card? So there's going to be some options made available just for being in a promise delivered, because like I said before, I gave you a hint, a golden nugget, Solana. Okay. Solana is not just for, yes, they work with development and all that. But Solana is the crypto king. You can move through Solana all the cryptocurrencies, all of them. And they're coming out with a debit card, if it's not already out.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for answering.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Hello?
Hey, Muntavo, just wanted to say hello. Late to the call. I just saw the email. It's Randy.
Okay. You got to shout out a couple of them, so welcome back. All right, so any other questions? Concerns?
Yes, Muntavo, this is Theo.
Yes, Theo.
My question is, on the subscription, when we start, is that a continuation or a one time?
It's a continuation. It's coming out of step 4.
All right. So once it comes out of step 4, it will continue.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get a product and you want to start, let's say one of the products we want to start in, but we want to keep it consistent. Will it automatically pull?
No. So the subscription for a promise delivered is coming out of step 4. So
okay,
it's going. Remember, it was only a one-time thing. That's not sustainable, and it's going to create a problem. So in order for a promise delivered to do what it's going to do, it has to be a subscription.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. So now on the products, if I wanted to do the products and I wanted it in monthly, would that be something that can be done? Or
yes, that will come out of step 4.
Okay. So you answered both of my questions. Subscription and also for products.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Now, last question, the WireX, didn't they have a DeFi card?
Yeah, but they're still not servicing the US, at least not yet.
Okay. That's it. Thank you. I'm so excited.
Me too.
So, yep, we're here on support. I support everything you're doing and protection about the passport. I mean, the password, I'm not too sure about, clarity as far as, is it going to be hard for everyone to have that protection password?
Well, the password would be on new people coming to the system. So let's say when I go international, which is the day of launch, if they don't have the password, they can't even go on the website.
True. Okay.
It would then slow down movement. So I don't want to do that. That's why I'm gonna switch it as soon as, like I said, as soon as 11 is there, the website will freeze. It won't stop, but it'll freeze entry. Okay. They do what they have to do in the back office, and then it unfreezes.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Muntavo, sorry, hon. Mr. Muntavo, just one quick, this is Flory. You said about WireX. I do have a credit card from them, and I'm constantly sending money abroad, outside of the US.
Yeah, you were one of the lucky ones to get your card before they shut it down.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I have one too. Yes, sir. All right, let's see. Was that Carolyn? Peter?
Muntavo, last week you didn't finish answering a question. I'd like you to finish answering it tonight. You talked about a question on taxes at our last meeting. You said the first three levels are going to be 1099, and the fourth level is business activity. How about 5 through 12? Is that capital gains, long or short term?
Nope. That is pretty much non-existent.
Okay. But how about when you put it on one of those cards? That's reported.
No, actually, it's not.
Okay.
When it comes into play into their system, it's coming as a cryptocurrency.
Uh-huh.
It's facilitating a transaction as a crypto asset. So you're in essence, you're liquidating an asset to purchase a product. Go to the grocery store and get you some A1. You liquidated some cryptocurrency to get it. Until they figure out how to regulate cryptocurrency, which won't happen, they can't tax it. Now, on the other hand, because you're participating with Team Royal, all of that's taxed because they're in that arena.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I do believe that once we get around the corner with all this other stuff, that we're going to go into a different category anyway, Nasara. So that negates all that garbage that we're trying to figure out how to manage without being attacked by them. They won't exist. All right, let me stop YouTube.